hang on to it.
It totally fits you. I'm just going to put this on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh! Okay. What is it?
Jedi knitting.
Jedi knitting.
That's what it's been with. A Jawa.
Yeah, like a Jawa.
Oh.
I've got no words really. You've seen Jedi's knitting.
I have.
You?
I have. Well, I've gone on there. I've gone.
Oh, and what my name? Right. Okay.
And then...
What do you mean? Do you mean just introduce myself?
Hello and welcome to the Bakery Bears podcast with me here at Fountains Abbey and the Studley Royal Estate, and over in the studio.
And by the wonders of television, we're in the studio as well. How have they done it? Look, I'm even in the same clothes, because it was me at Fountains Abbey. I'm so excited.
I can tell.
Welcome back to episode 3.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Kay. My username on Ravelry is Bryony Bear. I had to think for a minute then. And on Instagram, I am Bryony Bears.
So we've established who you are.
Yes. And
who am I?
Who are you?
I am Obi-Wan Knitter. And I'm Obi-Wan Knitter on Instagram and on Ravelry.
You are.
So, yeah, that's me. And we're back with an enhanced favourite places to knit segment.
Yay.
You got a sneak preview of that just a second ago with me at Fountains Abbey. We're following through on the Abbey theme that we started in episode 2 at Jervo. We'll talk a lot more about this in the section, but Fountains Abbey's just an amazing place because you get to see more of the actual Abbey. Jervo is pretty much ground level, whereas Fountains Abbey is just huge, as you'll see later on. We forgot our co-host. And here is our co-host.
Oh, you can't really see his eyes.
I'll try it. There we go.
And look, he's not even got beads.
We get an idea.
He's that older bear.
Talk a little bit about Bear With.
This is Bear With. Now, his name is because if anybody has ever watched Miranda, it's a comedy show, a British comedy show. So everybody in England will know it, I'm sure. People in America might not. And if you've never heard of it in America, please find it. It's just called Miranda. It is one of the funniest things. Honest, if you love kind of silly British humour, it reminds me of things like Fawlty Towers and all that kind of humour. It's just
Morecambe and Wise as well.
Yeah, it's just very silly and really, there was one episode in particular where I was literally crying with laughter, wasn't I?
Yeah, you wet yourself.
The swimming pool episode. Oh, anyway, there's a character on it. It's her friend, isn't it, with the blonde hair? I forget her name.
There's her mum that says...
No, it's not. It's the lady who on the phone all the time, her friend, the blonde friend.
Oh, right, okay.
And whenever a mobile rings...
Stevie.
No, not Stevie. The one with the blonde hair.
Oh,
comes in the shop all the time.
She's been in films.
Yeah. Anyway, it's one of her friends, and she lives on a mobile phone. And... it'll ring in the middle of a scene and she'll just go, bear with, while she answers the phone. And it just used to make us laugh a lot. So when I made that bear a couple of years ago, decided to call him Bear With, because we were forever copying her, weren't we, when the phone rang, going, Bear With.
He's one of the first boy bears that you did as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
So you could say, is maybe the prototype boy bear.
Probably. He's nothing like, really, my bears now.
What's on the way?
The boy bear is on the way. Yeah, Mr. Bakery Bear is on the way, and I'm well on with it.
Countdown to episode 4, maybe.
Yeah, I'm hoping by episode 4, which is
2 weeks
today, that I might, fingers crossed, have it all done and ready to go out. I've still got lots of knitting to do, but the pattern, I think I'm there.
Perfected.
Yeah, I think so. So I just need to knit, and obviously, photos and all the rest of it. But fingers crossed, disasters allowing, then hopefully in a couple of weeks Mr. Bakery Bear will be making an appearance, and I have got a couple of bears that are sort of knit up and finished, but I'm not going to show you. It's going to be a secret.
So, welcome back. Time for my favourite segment, and I'm sure it's yours as well. What's on your needles?
What's on my needles?
Hold on. I did it wrong.
You did it wrong. I didn't want to say it.
Kay Jones, what's on your needles?
Well, a few things. The first is a new cast on. Actually, it's what I'm knitting on now, and I decided that I really needed to start knitting up some of my opal sock yarn stash because it's just getting a little bit kind of ridiculous, and I just like to hoard it. I like sort of collecting it, which, you know, I think that's really what our stash is, isn't it? It's just a collection, and when you think of it,
I am collecting a collection.
I am collecting but when you think of it as a collection rather than a stash, I think that makes it sound, you know, like it's got a purpose. You know, you're collecting it. That's your hobby sort of thing. Anyway, I've got loads and loads of opal. So I got a few skeins out the other night, and Dan chose one, and he chose this one, and I've just got to the end of a row, so I'll show you. It's an opal Van Gogh. Part of the Van Gogh series, which is discontinued now.
Isn't it Van Gogh?
No, I think it's Van Gogh.
No, I think that's how our friends in America say it.
Oh, really? Van Gogh?
Yeah.
With Fs?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to need to check.
You all know what I mean anyway, and here we go. I love it, actually.
Here we go.
Here we go. It's much lighter in colour. That's not too bad. You can see the colours. I love opal yarn. You know, I could knit with it all day. I really could. And the colourway, I'll show you. I'll just grab the skein. I actually wound it into a skein because I find that easier to work from. So if I hold it back here, that gives you a better idea. And the colourway is... It's the bedroom... I think the English translation, I think, is bedroom in Arles. I'm going to move it closer without trying to... There we go. It's bedroom in Arles. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but there we go.
What does that mean then?
It's one of his paintings.
Oh, okay.
And all of the colourways are based on paintings.
It must be a place then. Do you
yeah,
reckon?
I'd guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that looks right.
Yeah.
Is that German?
Yes.
Schlafzimmer.
Don't
Schlafzimmer in art. So Schlafzimmer is bedroom.
Bedroom, it must be,
That's
presumably,
brilliant.
yeah.
That's a very aggressive word for bedroom.
It is.
Schlafzimmer.
Get to the Schlafzimmer. Yeah, I'm not even going to try.
I love it.
So I started those just last night. No, yeah, I think it was last night, or maybe the night before. I might have done a tiny bit. And that's where I'm up to on those. And it's just 72 stitches for Dan. Just a plain vanilla sock. And I always do a heel flap and gusset. And I use the heel flap and gusset instructions from one of the free patterns that Erica Luda does. I think it's Snape Stockings is a 72 stitch sock. So, I mean, I just do it plain vanilla, but I use that heel flap and gusset and decreases and toe decreases as well because it fits you really well. But, you know, Dan's got massive feet, so I can get a full pair of socks from him from an opal skein. I've done it a couple of times before. I just have to make sure I don't knit the leg too long. I always show it upside down, don't I? The leg too long, because otherwise there's not enough for the huge foot, because I have to knit your foot to about 10 inches, I think, before I do the toe. So that's the first one.
How many
and
things
this
do you
is
have?
can I just show you the bag? This is in one of my favourite bags that I made.
Oh, yes.
And this is Chatsworth House. This is where we're going on holiday again this year. I bought a tea towel last time I was there, and I made a bag.
Wow.
And I got lining with like little rabbits on. And I made myself a tea towel bag, and I absolutely love it. And I think it's a brilliant way as a memento of a holiday.
Better than a tea towel, actually.
Better than a tea towel,
because we've got thousands of them stuck in there.
Yeah, because they're quite expensive to buy.
You should go through that.
What?
Go through our tea towel collection and see if you
Well,
can
they've all
make
been
any more.
used. I have got some Kath Kidston tea towels that I bought to do the same thing with, because Kath Kidston fabric is ridiculously expensive, but you can buy a couple of tea towels for not too bad. So I love that bag.
Interesting what you just said, because you mentioned Chatsworth, and that came up in the forum this week.
Yeah.
And that's just made me think of something we should have done at the start, which is just thank everyone for the interactions and all the lovely things that's going on in the forum. There's so many amazing bears appearing, aren't there? There's a thread, isn't there? For
there's 2 threads actually open on our group, and one of them is just an open-ended finished bears thread that people can just put the bears in whenever they finish them, and that it's just open. And then the other one is the competition that we're running for bears in the wild, and it doesn't. And please go and put your finished bears in there. And you don't even have to go out of your house if you don't want to. Just go into your kitchen, and put your bear somewhere and take a picture and put it in the thread, because you might win the bag, which I've got here.
And remember, Bryony's picking.
Little bag that I made.
Who knows what she'll choose as the winner?
And it's got a little bear charm.
And as we established the other week, it's a perfect bed for a bear.
Oh yeah, he's a bit big.
Oh, he is, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a normal size.
Because of his huge feet like me.
Yeah. So, and put your bears in the thread, and that's running until the end of July.
And of course, not forgetting, which I'm sure everyone knows about, but the Knitabulls Knit-along, which is now live.
Yes, and there's lots of chatter in there as well, and some people have finished the bears, and Diane has opened a finished bear thread now as well, and that runs until the end of June. So again, go and put your bears in there, because there are quite a few that are finished now, and there's a number that people are knitting like their 2nd and their 3rd, and it's just brilliant. And I love that a lot of people have said that it is a fairly quick knit, really, and that's surprised them.
No pressure, but we need some boys.
I know, I'm under a lot of pressure. So the next thing is another pair of socks, and I showed these last time, but I've made a bit of progress, so I'll show them again. And this is a pair for me, and it's the Jeck socks, Jeck, and I've now done the heel.
Beautiful.
It's pretty.
I love the pattern, actually.
I've done all the gusset decreases, and I'm now just on the leg. So that's the Jeck. It's really pretty yarn, and it's Regia 4 Fadic colour. I can't speak German. It's this one.
We need Molly, don't we?
And it's just, we do, yeah, she's funny. And there's no colourway name on it, and I think it's 05025. And I got this from Hobbycraft, and they do still have this colourway. I was in there last week, and they do still have it.
Is that good wool?
If you want. Yes, it's very good actually. And I don't think I've ever knit a pair of socks with Regia before, and it's very good. It's similar to Opal, but I like that it's not pooling. You know me and pooling. It's not pooling at all, and it's nice and variegated and lovely. So that's that one.
So that's your first 2.
That's 2.
On your needles.
So, Dan James.
I'm going to do... Yes, go on.
What's on your needles?
So I started my first full-size honey cowl. I've done quite a few of the small ones. What do you call the small ones, Kate?
They're just the single loop ones.
I've done quite a few single loops, but I've not done a full size. So this is my first full size.
It looks fluorescent, doesn't it, in this light? It's not quite. It is very bright.
The colour's amazing.
Yeah, it's similar to what I've got on, actually.
It is. And it's a strange colour because I would totally put this on.
It's a blue pink. It's very kind of fuchsia, I would call it.
But it's not. It doesn't feel in your face in any way.
No, it's a really beautiful, and it's really tonal. It's gorgeous.
I was just about to say I didn't know the right words.
I don't know if you can show that.
For
if you
that.
go close, you can kind of. Yeah, you can see. It's very tonal and it's beautiful and.
What is it?
Yeah, it is. Good question. Have you got the ball band in the bag? Where's the bag?
Most probably.
I think it's...
The Star Wars bag. Where did that come from?
Oh, found it. I made it.
You did not.
I did.
My lord, look at that. I love this bag.
I make all my bags now. I don't buy them, do I?
That's my knitting Star Wars bag.
It's cool. I found it, thank goodness. It's a British dyer, which is always good.
Wow.
Dyer's name is Countess Ablaze. Countess Ablaze, and she puts these little badges on. It's really cute, and she ties it up. It's like a ribbon rather than the paper ones. It's really nice. Countess Ablaze, and it's like a merino. It's like Malabrigo worsted. Is exactly what it's like. Actually.
Where did you get this from?
Online.
And what
She's
shop?
got an online shop.
Okay.
It's just an online. I can't remember. I don't think it's an Etsy shop, but I might be wrong. I think it's just her own shop. But if you Google Countess Ablaze, it'll come up. And we've got 2 skeins of that.
What I
So you've
really,
got plenty.
really love about knitting this pattern is I quite like the repetitive nature of it, and I think that fits in with my background as a drummer and as a musician.
No, I can't.
We tend to play patterns over and over again, so I think my brain accepts that an awful lot easier than things you really like, complex things, don't you, that are changing all the time.
Kind of. It depends what mood I'm in.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is as well, knitting for me, as I think it should be for all men, is about relaxation. And I think, as I've said before, I've never in my life, and you meet so many guys who they just don't relax properly. And what you need is you need something that clears your head. And this, for me, especially when it's combined with a really nice whiskey, clears my head really well. Okay,
Cool.
Jones, what's on your needles?
Oh, something else. I've got 2 more things I wanted to show.
Okay,
actually.
do one more, then I'll do one, then you do one.
I'll just show this quickly because I showed it last week, and again I haven't done much work on it because of my bear commitments. But this is my cardigan, my featherweight cardigan, and I'm on to another cream stripe. So I've done a little bit. I can't remember where I was last time. But I'm knitting it out of Madeline Tosh Merino Light, and the 2 colours are Antler and Posy, and I'm on to another white, the Antler. I've just got to another Antler stripe, and it's basically now just straight stockinette stitch all the way, stocking stitch, sorry, I have gone quite American with my terminology, straight stocking stitch all the way down now to as long as I want it, and I do want it quite long. I want a nice kind of flowy, light summer cardigan. Not that I'll ever finish it, I don't think, before the summer's finished. So that's that. And I'm knitting it on my new Carbons interchangeables that Dan got me for my birthday. And I do really love them. And I've heard mixed reviews about Carbons.
Yeah, I mean,
Some people hate them, some people love them. But, you know, I think everybody likes their own thing, don't they? And you just got to try them, I think. Just buy one set, maybe. And just try them and see what you think. But I really love them.
I'm knitting the honey cowl on Carbons, and the first 2 to 4 hours of knitting with it, well, maybe less, 2 hours. I really didn't like it at all,
No,
and I was on the
weren't
cusp
keen,
of
getting out the wooden ones.
changing. But actually, what it was, I think, was my technique rather than the Carbons.
And I think also sometimes when needles are brand new, they take a bit of wearing in kind of thing to slick off.
Yeah.
It's like the wooden ones. I think you have to knit with them for a little bit to, you know, sometimes they have a kind of new, not a coating, but I don't know how to describe it. I mean, people know.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just needs a few rows to break them in like a new pair of shoes, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, I would say they certainly feel less slippy now than they did. And I think I'm knitting better. The gauge is good. So I like them a lot. So you have one more thing, but I have one more thing, so I'll go first. Here's my socks. I mean, I'm totally following Kay's lead, and she's... No,
that's better.
But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely enjoying it. I totally messed up the gauge on the back. For me, it was just a whole new approach to knitting.
On the heel flap.
Yeah. So, you know, it took 3 attempts.
Yeah, I think it did. It was just really tight, and I think what he was doing, on the purl back row, he was doing knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one, and then on the purl back row, it was purling really tight. So it was, instead of being straight, you know, as a heel flap was, it was doing this. So we had to rip it out a couple of times, didn't we?
Yeah.
But then you got it on the 3rd one, and we've picked up the stitches down the side, and we're now ready to start the decreases, the gusset decreases.
It's interesting. What colour is this?
It's the, is it wood pigeon? I think it's the wood pigeon one. Yeah.
What's been interesting is I've been seeing there's someone on Instagram. Is it Dump for Stump?
Yes, I think so.
in Scotland.
Bruno, is it?
Bruno, who has just got some West Yorkshire spinners wool, and we were in a shop, weren't we, the other day? A new shop.
A new shop.
What was it called?
It's called
Wool Mouse.
Wool Mouse. I wanted to say Yarn Mouse. But yeah, we found a new little shop, and it's in Barnard Castle. We went for a little day out, didn't we, or an afternoon out?
We did.
And we saw this little shop, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Brand new
wool shop, and it looks so cute and tiny. So we went in.
Well, it's the best one I've been in.
It was really good, and
well
actually,
stocked.
Well stocked, and she'd
Nice
only been
wool.
there 3 weeks. I got chatting to the lady, and she used to have a stall on the indoor market in another town near us called Richmond. And I've actually been and bought a couple of skeins from the stall. So I said that to her, and it was just really well stocked, and she had some really nice sock yarn. She had lots of West Yorkshire spinners. She had lots of Osterman Steppe, which I love. I love Osterman Steppe. And then she had some acrylics and things, but it was really well stocked, and she had fabric as well at the back. So we just thought I wanted to mention the shop just in case anybody lives in that area or is visiting, then go and have a look.
Unfortunately, they
good.
don't have a website.
Don't have a website.
They also don't have a Facebook.
She's not on Facebook. She's not on Ravelry. She's an older lady, and
what this showed to us, again, I think we've spoken before a few times about how the land seems to lie differently in this country.
Yeah, it does.
It's really frustrating.
Because I was like, oh, are you on Ravelry? What's your Ravelry name? And she was like, oh, I'm not on Ravelry. And I was like, oh. I said, do you have any business cards? She didn't really have business cards. And
it's totally not her fault, because she's working, within the boundaries of what she understands as to be the right way. But, if you just reach out, and I find myself getting more and more sort of fired up and passionate about this.
Yeah, I really wanted to just go in and help her, and
just a few simple things.
I really did.
And it's the type of place that you guys would just.
You would have loved it.
I think that we should, because we spoke about this before. We should now just take a moment to do maybe a one-off section. But how to with the Bakery Bears in response to some questions on the forum.
Yeah, a few people had said that they'd never used Magic Loop before, and they were kind of intimidated by it, and didn't want to start a bear because they were like, oh, I don't know if I could do it. And I thought, and you can use DPNs. A few people are using DPNs, and it's just that I've never made one using DPNs. So I couldn't really comment on it.
Is there a reason why you've not used DPNs?
Because I just prefer Magic Loop, and
Why do you prefer Magic
because when you're doing small stitches in the round, and I found this when I was doing like the monkeys, the Jerry, the musical monkey, you have these huge long limbs, and it's just a few stitches in the round. What is that noise, darling?
It's the Death Star.
Gosh,
it's coming into orbit.
Can you just go? Can you shut our bedroom door or something?
Of course.
I think somebody's got a jet wash or something.
No,
honestly.
They are.
What are they doing?
They're road markings. So it's a great big machine.
Yeah. To do what?
Painting the road with
what road?
With white lines.
Our road.
Down near the flats.
Oh gosh. So when you're knitting, like.
Shut up! We're trying to do a podcast in here.
So I said to a couple of people, maybe I'd try dropping in a quick tutorial.
So let's cut to how to Magic Loop right now.
Okay, so I just wanted to record a quick tutorial on Magic Loop. I always use a 32-inch needle. Some people use 40-inch, but I find that a bit too much cable. So 32-inch, and I'm going to cast on a few stitches. I'm going to start, this will be a bare arm, so I cast on 16 stitches, and I use a knitted on cast on, so just make a little loop. I mean, the cast on is kind of doesn't really matter what cast on you use, but for this purposes, I'm going to cast on 16 stitches all onto one needle. 16, okay. And then what we do is we scoot all our stitches up into the middle of the cable. So I've got all our stitches here, and then we divide it in half, so 2, 4, 6, 8. Now we pinch the cable in the middle there. So you've got 8 stitches on each side. So you've got 8 on each, and we zoom it back so that you've got 8 on the front, 8 on the back. Okay, and your yarn's on that back needle like that. So we just lift it over because we're knitting, and then all we do is we pull out the back needle, go around to the front and knit across. So you've joined in the round by doing that, and you just knit those front stitches. You always knit the front stitches and pull your needle out. Whoops, pull your needle out from the back. Sorry, drop that one. 3, 4, 5, 6 and 8. Okay, you finish that one, and then all you do is you turn your work so that that needle now becomes the back, and this one is the front. You scoot your needle back up and put those stitches back on there, and then you do the same thing again. Pull out from the back and knit the front. And that basically is it. You just keep going round and round. So I'll just get to the end of this row and show you. And you know you've done one round if you ever lose track, because start of your round is where your yarn is dangling. So there's 8 stitches, and again turn, and you know that you've done one round because your yarn is back here on the right hand side. If it was on the left, then you know you've only done half a round.
Welcome back. Now, just before we move on, you've taught me magic loop, haven't you?
Yes.
And I love it.
And I taught him in like 5 minutes, seriously.
So if I can do it, you can do it, definitely.
Yeah. But I would say definitely if you haven't tried it, it is worth having a go just to find out whether you do like it or not. So I hope you like it.
Kay Jones.
Yes.
What's off your needles?
Yay! Right, okay, let me show you. See, I'm loving this opal yarn so much, I just could sit
She
here
can't
and-
stop knitting.
I just want to sit and knit. Right, okay, I'm going to
Don't
stop.
we all?
So I finished my Hermione's. There is 2. It was hiding.
Is that pigeon toe?
Oh, God, here we go.
No, don't tell me. Eye of Partridge.
Yes.
Come on.
It is Eye of Partridge.
Once you were the teacher, now I am the master.
Yes. So I finished my Hermione socks and I've washed them, and I absolutely, I love them. I love them.
Is that heel different to the other heel on the other one?
Which one?
You showed some socks that you're in the process of making,
No,
and the heel looks different.
No, I used that same heel actually because
What's
I
that heel
didn't
called
like.
again?
Oh, are you kidding me?
Oh, so that is the Eye of Partridge.
Yes.
Sorry. I genuinely didn't realise. I'm so sorry.
So I've finished my socks and I can wear them now. Yay!
When are you going to wear them?
I'm going to put them on tonight now.
Or maybe, no. Oh, yes. Good idea.
I don't generally, and you'll all think I'm totally bonkers when I tell you this.
I think you're bonkers.
Yeah. But I don't, as a rule, wear my socks in shoes. And that, you know...
Who does?
Well, everybody, I think. I think it's just me because I love them. This is going to sound so bizarre and a bit kind of, I don't know, OCD maybe. But I just love my socks so much that I kind of want to keep them nice and they're precious to me. So every night when I put my jammies on, I go and I choose a pair. And what pair shall I wear tonight? And I wear them at night and then take them off obviously when I go to bed. Or if it's really cold in the winter, I'll keep them on in bed. So yeah, I don't wear them in shoes because I think they're too precious. Because, you know, you spend a lot of time knitting your socks, I think, and, you know, it's kind of like knitting a small jumper, the number of stitches in a sock. So they're really precious to me, and especially when it's super nice yarn, and this one is my favourite. Oh, I love this yarn. So I finished my socks, yay!
Can I just ask a question? Is there such a thing as sticky wool? Yes. What does that mean?
What you're knitting with will feel quite sticky.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's because?
Well, it's usually because normally it's single plies particularly that feel sticky.
I find, I mean, it's probably these needles as well, but sometimes the first time I started knitting with this wool, do you remember I said my hands felt
funny?
Not in a bad way.
And it could be that there's
nice.
It could be that there's lanolin as well. It could be the lanolin in the yarn.
How many things have you got off your needles this week?
Well, just a couple actually.
Okay. So now it's time for...
I've done that one. How about that? You haven't got anything?
I do.
What's off your needles? You haven't.
Ask me the question.
Dan Jones, what's off your needles?
I'm so shocked because there is something off my needles.
I don't think.
Where's it gone?
Oh no, there is. Oh gosh.
It's just disgraceful. I finished my hat.
Finish the hat.
Yeah.
Yay! It seems such a long time ago that you
It's
finished
super
that.
cool. In fact, it's super warm. I'm super happy with it, but it's not my style because it's come out.
It's a bit slouchy.
It's a bit slouchy. It's not like crazy hat that we showed last episode, which Kay made me for Christmas. Thanks for that, honey. This will be perfect for any bloke other than me, and it will be a Christmas present this year for someone. But yeah, it's super nice. The wool's just lovely. It feels really nice, and it's not scratchy even just remotely.
It's not. I've not even washed that. I need to wash it.
What wool is this?
Rowan.
Yeah.
Pure wool, Aran.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Should I try it on? I don't think it's going to be massively big for me, but somebody, and I was watching. Oh look, nice, nice look.
Beautiful.
That's so funny.
Beautiful, Clark.
I was watching Dark Matter Knits. I love that podcast.
Hi, Dark Matter Knits.
I love it, and
hello in France. She's in France at the moment.
I look like the Pope, don't I?
We should wear that when we do the
I love
the Fountains Abbey bit.
Should, yeah. And she said that one of her students one time told her how she was wearing a slouchy hat, and they're like, "Oh, you're wearing it all wrong." And they showed her how to do it, and she just said, "You like grab all the slouchy bit and just sort of pull it back on your head, and you see it does." So it's good. I like it. I mean,
so I have finished something,
you
woman.
I'm sorry, darling. I had. Don't throw it down like that.
I threw it on a box. It's okay.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. What's on your needles?
Off.
Okay, Jones. What's off your needles?
Well, this had kind of finished last week, but I knit a jumper basically for this little bear, and I was trying out jumper patterns for Mr. Bakery Bear, and it doesn't look like this, so I'm okay to show it. But look, she, I don't know whether it's a girl. I think it's a girl, this one, isn't it? But she's got a little jumper, just some cables at the front. And then I spent a lot of time, and this is a lot of my knitting time, trying out little sock patterns. And I knit loads of these. I knit maybe half a dozen different. I mean, they're very cute. I mean, look how cute they are. Oh my goodness. Because I thought I was going to put socks on Mr. Bakery Bear, and I thought that would be really cute. But actually, when I put the socks on the bear, I don't know why, but I didn't really like it. And I put one sock on, and it's really cute little sock, and it's a proper, heel flap, gusset, decreases. It was so cute to knit. And I did it with like a little, just 2x2 rib, and then a toe.
Bryony loves them.
She loves them, and I've been giving her to her, and she's been putting them on all her teddy bears. She thinks they're fantastic. So I'd be grateful of everybody's opinion, but for some reason it just didn't look right when I actually had it on the bear. There was something about it. So there's a little sock. See, and now I think it looks quite cute. It's not straight and stuff because I just rushed to put it on.
Who's to say this might not appear in a future pattern of some sort?
Maybe it will, and maybe I'll just... Yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll put it on something in future. So I didn't waste my time. I mean, it's got a little heel flap, look, little gusset decreases. It's very cute. So, she's finished anyway. And the socks may appear, may not appear. Look how cute. You can show something.
You have to ask me the question.
Dan Jones, what's off your needles but not needles? It's Lego. It feels like a year ago, so much has happened in the last 2 weeks. Last episode I showed you the Ultimate Collector's edition of the Sandcrawler, and I just had to show you this time. I actually bought 2 of these. One is still wrapped up in the cellophane and it's not coming out. So when this came out last year, I don't know if you've seen it, I'll open it up and show it to you. It's just amazing. And they're actually, it's looking at Lego do this thing where you can submit designs for them to then make, and that's what this was. This was something that was submitted by a fan. And the reason why that wheel this side looks slightly odd is because they actually turn underneath. So
when it goes to 2015 and it has the upgrade, it can fly, and then the doors on the side there open, proper gullwing doors, and then inside you've got Marty McFly, who's super cool, and you also don't get Einstein, but me and Bryony raided her Lego Friends collection, and there is Einstein, but you do get obviously Doc Brown. There he is, and he has two faces. He has a scared face and he has a happy face. And then you also get all the bits for all the 3 films. So that's from Back to the Future 3, where they're cowboys, and you get Marty's skateboard, and also the most important bit of all is. What's that called again? It's the
flux capacitor.
No, the flux capacitor's on the inside. There is actually a flux capacitor.
Mr. Fusion.
In there. Well done, Kay Jones. There's the flux capacitor right in there. And then Mr. Fusion on the back. So yeah, me and Bryony absolutely love playing with this. And last summer we actually set up a whole Hill Valley.
Oh, you did?
We used Sylvanian families and everything, and set up a whole Hill Valley.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was super cool, and that was there for quite a while until you told me it was time to pack it down. But
you know what we should get?
What?
You should get the Stagecoach one, isn't there a Stagecoach?
Yeah, there totally is. Yeah, you see,
there's like a whole cowboy range of
that's
like
Lone Ranger.
Oh yes,
that we watched and we really enjoyed it.
We loved it, and it got slated, didn't
Yeah,
it?
it did.
We really liked it. I thought it just was great fun.
Really
I
enjoyed
do
that
like
film.
Johnny Depp, you know, in the right sort of film. I think he's excellent.
And there's his scared face. Oh no!
Can I just show one more thing?
Of course.
I meant to show this last time and I was really cross I didn't, because I love this little thing, and it's a sewing thing. But I may, you know, it's Bryony's, I mentioned before, it's Bryony's first Holy Communion next weekend now. So it's a week tomorrow she does it, and I've still not got anything to wear. It's a disaster. I need to lose like a stone before next weekend. I can't see that happening.
Could you please remember to tell me in a minute, slip? Thank you.
So for her Holy Communion gift, I got her some rosary beads. And I wanted to make her like a little bag to keep them in, just to keep them safe. So I made her like a little tiny, look at this, a little tiny wedge bag. How cute is this? And I thought of making these. I've made her another one of these already that she keeps all her lip balms in, and she loves it because you can get your little hand in there. My hand's bigger, obviously. She can carry it around. And it's so sweet. So I've just got some white satin, and I sewed some lace onto it there. Little handle, white zip, and then inside, just to spruce it up a bit, I put white fabric with little gold dots, and they're shiny gold. And her rosary beads are in here. She's not seen the rosary beads yet, and they're really beautiful things.
Where are they from?
I got them online in a shop it's the Catholic Gift Shop.co.uk, I think. And look at these beads. Aren't they beautiful? They're clay beads, and they're all different. And I just thought, oh, she's, you know, for a little girl, she's just going to love these. And it'll kind of make her enjoy going to church a bit more, I think. You know, she can take her little beads and have them in her hand. So I just love these, and I know she's going to love them. And they weren't expensive. I couldn't believe it. I thought they're going to be really expensive. And I think they were like £14 for the set of beads, and I just think they're beautiful. So she's seen the little bag, but she doesn't know there's something inside it. So there we go. Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
And I thought these make great notion pouches as well, actually. So I made her a little bag. So that's all my finished things, and I've got loads of other stuff to show.
Have you?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like stuff that, like our birthday presents, and some yarn that I bought. Do you want me to show that?
Well, you
now?
can do.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll quickly zip through all this stuff that.
We want to see it, don't we?
And I got another one of my favourite finished objects out.
Okay.
I'll show that now because I'm still in finished objects.
Yes.
And this is one of my favourite past finished objects, and I just did these last year, and it's another pair of socks. I love these. Oh, it's not showing. Look, hang on. Let's find. There we go. You can see the pattern. It's the Almondine. Almond as in the nut. And these are knit with some yarn. I did a swap with my friend Tracy, TB McCarthy, in New York. And I made her a bag. a project bag, and she sent me some yarn, and she sent me the Plucky Knitter, oh my gosh, the Plucky Knitter Primo Fingering, and I just said, you choose the colour, and she knew I liked pinks and greens and blues, and she sent me this beautiful green colour, so I knit some socks out of it, and they're just the nicest socks. You love these socks, don't you?
I do. They look great on.
Yeah, I put them on, and you were looking at them and you said, where did you get those? It's from this book, the Anne Budd book. But I don't know if it's an Anne Budd pattern, the actual Almondine, but... So, birthday gifts first. Oh, and thank you for all the messages. Sally opened a thread.
Yeah, I know.
Saying happy birthday to
Super
Kate.
cool.
Everybody was saying happy birthday. It was really nice. So thank you, everybody. I saw my friend Lynn. And she started crocheting a couple of years ago. So she crocheted me a scarf. And I'll take this one off and put it on. This is my jewelled cowl I've got on. So I'll take that one off and just slip this on. Stitching it. I just love it. I can't wait till it gets cold again so I can wear it. Look at that! Dan's brother and sister-in-law sent me some yarn. I couldn't believe it. They went on holiday. They go to the Hay Book Festival every year. There's a book festival in a place called Hay on Wye in Wales. It's really soft. It's Jenny Cook, Superwash Merino and Donegal Neps in it. And I showed this on Instagram, but I bought this one. Look at the little raccoon who is upside down. How cute is that? And this one as well with the flowers. Thought that was very pretty. And I got the 4-ply version of the West Yorkshire Spinners, and this one is Pheasant, the colourway. It's got like greens and brown in, and I've got the coordinating colour to go with it so that I can make longer socks for Dan, and I can do like cuffs, heels and toes.
It's time for a Bakery Bears newsflash.
Is it?
Yes. Well, it's 3 things. The first thing is, we've already sort of mentioned that you're working
Yes.
very hard
Yes.
on the boy pattern. It's amazing to see actually all these, and there's been a few little sneaky peeks, hasn't there, on Instagram?
Just one or two. Yeah.
Every so often you just catch a little corner of something cool. But also, you're working on some dress patterns too, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I've got so many things going on in my head, it's not true, but I was going to, after I've done the boy pattern, and then there is one other pattern that I'm going to do after that. Should we say what that is? Or?
Yeah, well, say, and then...
Well, I was going to do...
Can always cut it
I was
out.
going to have a go at a baby Bakery Bear, because you've got Mr. and Mrs., so I thought there should be a little baby. And it won't... It'll be...
We've been throwing some ideas around, haven't we?
Yeah, and I'm still thinking about how I'm going to do it. But it's going to be a simpler version of a Bakery Bear, and I just haven't decided how quite I'm going to house it, if you know what I mean, because it's a baby and it should... I don't know, I'm still
Don't
thinking...
give anything away.
No. So there's that. But then I thought I wanted to do... Because I've knit such a wide range of different dress patterns, I thought it might be nice just to put a pattern out there with maybe half a dozen little different dress patterns on. So, I've done a couple of different Fair Isle ones. I've done a lace one. Just a little range. So at some point after that, I'll be doing that. And then maybe a similar thing connected to the boy pattern. So all that's going on.
And all of that really pales into insignificance when we cover our next story.
Which is?
We're going to have to get in the time machine now and go back 2 years to November 2011. And the news flash is, a Bakery Bear is missing. And a Bakery Bear is missing in another country.
Another country?
Bear with. I had to go to Scotland
Oh, yeah.
with work, and Bear with came with me. So we got in the car, and he sat next to me in the passenger seat, and I put his seatbelt on, of course, and we set off to Glasgow, which is about 4.5 hours from here in Scotland. And I went and was there for a couple of days working, it's embarrassing. I took him to bed.
Oh.
So we were there in the Premier Inn. We were all snuggled up in the Premier Inn. And then the next morning I got up. I think I was I was slightly on edge because it was my first time working in Scotland and was thinking about work, and I'm making excuses because I got up and I got dressed and bear with, stayed in bed.
In the bed.
So I got in the, well, I went to work and I worked all day, and I got in the car and I drove home hours and hours, got in, and I'm not sure at what point
I can't remember
we established
at what point
it,
that you'd left him.
but as I remember it, I did burst into tears. So what did I do? How did we get Bear With back? I phoned up the hotel. Now, I don't know what it's like in America, but in the UK, we have certain organisations where it's physically impossible to get through to the hotel which you've stayed at. When it's a chain, they have a one number that, you know, could be anywhere in the country.
Like a booking desk or something.
So to physically get through to the hotel, I did it via email.
You did, yeah.
I found on email that you could get in touch with the hotel direct, and I emailed them. And I properly, you know, I just poured my heart on this email, and they found him.
They found him.
But then, of course, how do we get him home? So she was brilliant.
She was really
the
good,
woman.
yeah.
She was so sweet, and they must have been having a right old laugh.
They must have.
A 36-year-old man.
Some fella's left his teddy bear. I mean,
She'll still
honestly,
be talking about it now.
She will.
So she packaged him up. Bryony was.
Bryony was absolutely, yeah.
Because I think that might be when we established. I think Bryony might have said.
Yeah, she might have said, "Where's Bear With?"
Anyway, she packaged him up, and she sent him home.
She did.
So he will have gone to the post office. He'll have gone in a post van. He'll have gone on the train probably.
Yeah.
He'll have come down maybe to Newcastle.
So we got him back.
We got him home. We got him home safe.
And just in case anyone asks me about the pattern on his jumper, actually, that isn't one of my patterns. I took that. The jumper shape and everything is my pattern, but the Fair Isle pattern I took off. It's a Little Cotton Rabbits. If anybody knows the Little Cotton Rabbits pattern.
Cool. So yeah, Bear With, just so you know, Bear With is no longer Bear With.
No.
Bear With now stays at home on our bed.
He does.
I am banned from taking him anywhere.
Yes.
It's time to move on to our new section that we started last episode. We've enhanced it dramatically now for this episode. Hope you really like it. It's our favourite places to knit.
Thanks, Kate. Yes, welcome back to our new segment, Favourite Places to Knit. And as you can see, I'm here, but amazingly, you are too, just over there. So yeah, we're at Fountains Abbey and Studley Royal today. This is it's another Cistercian monastery that was dissolved at a similar time actually to Jervo, but also the abbey itself had a very interesting history, which we'll talk about now. Back with you in the studio.
Very famous abbey, isn't it?
It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Stunningly beautiful.
It is.
And we used to live quite close to there. So we used to go, I mean, seriously regularly.
Yeah, every weekend. No.
How much were you knitting then, though?
I wasn't.
No. So at that point, it was not a favourite place to knit.
It was just a favourite place.
It's just a favourite place to go visit. It's quite a big site because it has something in it as well, which we're going to take you on location to in just a second, called the Studley Royal Estate. But Fountains Abbey, we thought it was a great place to take you this week. And as you travel through the nave, you can see the great big columns that used to hold up the roof that was tiled. But also as well, you can see things like the night stairs that the lay brothers used to walk down. And they would come down, they'd ring the bell at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they'd come down for their service down their night stairs. They used to sleep in a dormitory above, so it was a straight walk down into the nave, into the service, and then upstairs and back to bed. Now, that's something else that you can see at Fountains Abbey. There is an abbot's house, and it's just absolutely stunning to go into because you can walk into it, you can go down the steps into the undercroft. You've got to think that this was built around about 1100. So yeah, the church is probably the most impressive thing. You can walk through the church. You had the north and south transepts, which was the bits at the side that are like the cross, and that's where the monks used to come in. They had their own night stairs that they walked down, they came in, and they were separate in their worship. One of the great things at Fountains Abbey is Marmaduke Hubie's tower. Now, it's 137 feet, and it still stands to exactly the height it was when it was finished in about 1526. Marmaduke Hubie was one of the abbots of Fountains Abbey. But the guest houses, if you were clever, if you were royalty or posh in any way at all, and you came to visit the abbey, they would put you up in the guest houses. And when we went, you could see the fireplaces up there, and you could see the walkway in, and just absolutely stunning. The bit I love at Fountains Abbey is when you get out the other side.
Yes, we like the other side, don't we? I was knitting. I mean, you'll see me knitting.
On the route to that side of Fountains, you can turn back and look at Fountains Abbey, and you can see really the whole of the buildings. One of the great places in Fountains is where they used to eat. You remember we climbed up and we looked down. There's the area where the monks would come in, and they would have, initially it was a very frugal diet, but then as time progressed they did relax, and they did used to have meat. Interestingly, they would cook meat in a different kitchen.
They did, they didn't cook meat in the same kitchen as everything else.
Also as well, you can go into this, there's even lots of it doesn't have a roof because the roof was taken off when the abbeys were dissolved, but there are areas which still does have a roof, and it's very rare you see that at abbeys. And we went into one, didn't we, up the stairs, which was the monument room.
Yeah, where they kept all precious documents and things.
And also there was the warming room with the biggest fire you've ever seen.
It's ginormous. Takes up the entire room, this fireplace. Literally, it's one side of the wall, isn't it?
Yeah.
Must have been so cosy in the winter.
Yeah.
But you said that was the only place that was heated.
It's the only place where there was a fire.
Yeah, they just had to deal with the cold, didn't they? And I imagine, it's a cold country, really, England. It's only in the height of summer that you'll get it really nice.
And back then, there was another ice age.
Oh, was it even colder?
It was even colder. Right. You'll actually see, if you go online and you search Ice Age 1500s,
I didn't know.
You will
see a mini Ice Age.
Yeah, there was. The River Thames froze.
Oh, of course. They used to skate on the River Thames.
Not only did they skate on it, they took some pretty big animals on there too. They took bears on for bear baiting and fighting that was very popular back then. And there's someone actually did a drawing of that, and you can see that online. It's absolutely amazing. But now it's time to go on location.
So now we'll cut to Dan, who's reporting from the Studley Royal Estate.
I'm going, quick!
Yes, this is Fountains Abbey. We're actually in the Studley Royal. It's like a water garden that was built after the Abbey was dissolved in 1537. It was initially bought and owned by someone called Stephen Proctor, and then it moved into the hands of the Aislabys. Now, it's an interesting story with the Aislabys because George Aislabie, the man who bought the estate, he was a legal clerk in York, and whilst he started the work, he actually died in when was it? 1567, I think it was, and that was in wounds that he sustained after a duel.
So welcome back. Yes, I made it back in one piece. I used the DeLorean, and here I am back in the Bakery Bear cottage. One of the really funny stories about Studley Royal is when we were first courting. Before Bryony was born, we used to live not far, as we said a minute ago, so we would go for walks to Fountains Abbey. And one day we're walking through the Studley Royal Estate, very close by to where we just took you, and it started to rain. I mean, it really started to rain, like a torrential downpour. Yeah. It went from beautiful to awful in the space of a second. I had a hair appointment, didn't I?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Let's get to the hairdresser.
And we stood there thinking, do we stand here under this lovely tree, or do we go probably what was 3/4 of a mile, maybe even a mile through the rain? Yeah. And as you do in young love,
we just went, didn't we?
We ran for it, back to the car.
Absolutely soaked.
Past all the beautiful ruins that we didn't really look at as we ran past.
No.
And yes, don't worry, I made it on time.
You made it to his hair. We were just absolutely drenched, weren't we?
And now it's back to me. at the Studley Royal Estate for some really cool information about what we call follies.
One of the defining features of stately homes in England is that up there. That's called a folly, and that was put in, I think it's normally in the 1600s, 1700s, when these places were designed for people to pay and to come in and to walk through, and they would walk up there and they would look down and they would get a beautiful view across the estate.
And welcome back.
Now, we're going to take you in a minute to something that Kay used to refuse to walk through. We do have a video somewhere of you when you were pregnant with Bryony. And she would like cling on to me as we walked through it.
Oh, it's awful.
The guys that built Studley that we've spoken about already, the Aislabys, they were creating a garden that was supposed to excite, a bit like watching a TV programme. So there was beautiful parts, and there was parts that made you think, and then there was parts that scared you as well. So this tunnel that was built, it's deliberately constructed in a way where it's pitch black in the middle. But it's also, we've never had a problem going through it. We've never sort of bumped into the sides. It's really cleverly built. But to walk through it, you've got to have a bit of guts.
It's properly, absolutely black.
Yeah.
In the middle, and then you'll see a little chink of light, and you're like, oh.
And there you are. And they're very clever, because at the end, there's the reward, which we showed you a second ago, which is the folly.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
And now it's back to me again at the Studley Royal Estate to show you some of the statues.
Here we have one of the many statues put in by the Aislabys when they renovated and created this whole amazing water park. This is the only angle we could actually film this from, and it's still got bottoms in it. But it's Greco-Roman wrestling, I think this is supposed to be signifying. But again though, you can get a real feel for how tranquil it is here with the water and the birds and the wildlife. And over there we can see Kay in one of her favourite places to knit. And now it's back to you in the studio.
Welcome back! Really hope that you've enjoyed this enhanced locations feature. We're going to do the same now for the next few podcasts. We're going to take you to some really amazing places, and give you a little bit of history and also show you Kay knitting, because they are now our
I've not stopped, have I? I've knit like half a sock. Well, I'm like on an opal sort of high.
But that spot at Fountains, which we'll have shown you now on the location shoots next to the canal, it's just amazing, isn't it, to sit and knit.
And I'm knitting my hair into it. Does anyone else do that? You must do.
Well, I do that, and
I'm
she's not even knitting.
I'm like pulling bits of hair out like this.
Would you say though that Fountains, that spot by that canal, is your favourite place to knit?
It's one of my favourites, I would say. I do love it.
Is Jervo better?
I think I prefer. Yeah, I like them. I do. Yeah, I'd say probably Jervo marginally, maybe, because it's. You don't get if you sit there where I was sat, you do get people walking past you all the time, which is you can't avoid that. But they always stare at me, like this, the usual. Let's just stare at that woman knitting. It
picks up on the whole knitting in public thing.
Yeah.
I announced on Instagram, I'm bucking up my courage, and when we go on holiday to Chatsworth, I'm going to knit in public. I don't know why you're saying yay, because you'll probably say don't do it when I get it out.
No, I just meant yay going to Chatsworth.
Oh, right, okay.
Look how much I've done.
That's amazing.
Oh, can you tell that I love opal? Got a little bit of an obsession.
Do you remember what I reminded you to tell me? Don't tell them. Shout it out. Pearl, well done.
It wasn't. It was slip.
Oh, you were trying to catch me out, weren't you? That's terrible. It was slip all along. Cool. So that's it. We've finished. Episode 3 is over. Please connect with us.
Come and join the Ravelry group, and we've got 187 members last time I looked, which is amazing.
People have been amazing as well with me. I put a shout out to engage with me more on Ravelry. You absolutely have. And I've also found the golden ticket for me in Ravelry, and that is using Chrome and not Safari to access. I use iOS, and Chrome just remembers everything and I can get straight in. Safari wasn't. So I've resolved my Ravelry issues and I can get in and out of it so much easier. But all of you reaching out has made me use it more. But also Instagram. I should do a shout out to Debbie Kelsey, shouldn't I? Because
she's been brilliant. Yeah.
Debbie and Kay both encouraged me to get onto Instagram.
Yeah.
I did, and it's just I went.
It's fun. I love it because it's it's really quick, and it's not like Facebook. It's
Facebook's not
different to
appropriate, I think, for knitters. I think the great thing about knitters is, you're showing your work, you're talking to each other.
And
it's a much better way of doing it.
I can catch up with people because of the time difference. Everybody now, when we're recording, is in America, is pretty much in bed. So Ravelry and everything tends to get busier, sort of.
When we're in
evening, and through the night when we're in bed. So in the morning, I can get up, and I have a look on Instagram, and I can spend 10 minutes, and I can be up to date with kind of like what everybody's doing, and then so I'm at the beginning of the day, I'm kind of up to date. So I like that.
So we will see you in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, hopefully.
With a great big announcement. Whoa!
I need
Mr. Bakery
crossed.
Bear, come on!
I
can tell you, folks, it's looking.
I need some nitty time.
Amazing.
And once again, I'm really nervous about it. I wasn't, and then I am now.
Well, it's because these things, like we showed you, bear with. 2 years ago, this is such a long. There was Mrs. Bakery Bear, of course, Mr. Bakery Bear. These are all things that have been part of Kay for years and years. So to put them out there is a hard thing. But the reaction to Mrs. Bakery Bear has been
fantastic. Yeah,
moving.
It's been really
fantastic.
amazing. Thank you, everybody.
So remember, Bears in the Wild competition.
Yes, put
them in
pictures.
there, win the prize. Come
yes.
on. And we will see you
in a couple of weeks. Happy knitting. Bye.